again. So this is lesson 30, course 1, least common multiples or LCMs and reciprocals. So remember, when you're looking at multiples, this is different than factors. Okay, remember we've looked at greatest common factors and used them a lot. Factors are two numbers that times together to make that number. A multiple is multiples of that number. So for example, multiples of 2 are 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, on and on, on, on. Those are multiples of 2, just like multiples of 3 are 3, 6, 9, 12, 15, on and on and on and on. Okay, multiples are when you use that number to times another number and get a product. Okay, that's what the multiple is the multiple is the product, not the factors. Okay, so in this case, between 2's and 3's, the common multiples we have are 6, 12, and then I'm sure we get more as we go up. But our least common multiple is 6. Okay, it is the least, the smallest of the multiples we have in common. Okay, that's what least common multiples is. It's very similar to finding the greatest common factor, only instead of listing factors, you're listing products. Okay, let's look at one more and then we will move on. Okay, let's look at the least common multiple of 2 and 4. Now, 2's we've already done. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12. And 4's is 4, 8, 12. Whoop, not 112. 4, 8, 12, 16, 20, on and on, on and on. Okay, now common multiples we have 4, 12, 8. Okay, and our least common multiple is, of course, the smallest of the multiples, which is 4. So our least common multiple for these two numbers would be 4. Okay, again, the multiples are the products. It is the number you get when you times two factors together. One of those factors needs to be 2, or one of those factors needs to be 4, depending on what one you're looking at. You then circle your common multiples, and then you find out which one is the least or the smallest. Okay, that is least common multiples or LCMs. Now, reciprocals is also using multiplication. When you're looking for reciprocals, you're looking for two fractions or a whole number and a fraction that you multiply together to get 1. Okay, so that's our goal. Our goal is to get a product of 1. How we can do that when we look at reciprocals. So if you have 2 times a half, this will make a reciprocal. Okay, these two things are going to be reciprocals of each other. Because remember, 2 wholes is written like this, 2 wholes. I do my multiplication. 2 times 1 is 2. 1 times 2 is 2. I now have 2 over 2, which equals a whole. That means these two things are reciprocal. When they multiply together, they make a whole. They are reciprocals. Okay, that is what reciprocals means, is two things that times together to make one whole. Okay, let's look at another one. 3/4 times 4/3. If you notice, all of these digits are the same. I'm timesing 4 and 3 and 3 and 4, which means I know from my multiplication when we've done it earlier that you can switch factors around as long as they're still the same numbers and you're still just using multiplication. So 3 times 4 is 12 and 4 times 3 is 12. 12 over 12 equals 1. So these fractions are reciprocal. Okay, again, this is what reciprocal means. Reciprocal means two fractions that times together to make a whole. Okay, I'll do one more underneath so that you can watch. If you have 2/3 times 1, remember a whole is just written like that with 1 as your denominator. So this would equal 2/3. And does that work? No, they are not reciprocal. okay? Because 2/3 is not a whole make. Okay, so these ones are not reciprocal. These ones are reciprocal because they make a whole number. But these ones are not because they do not make one whole number. Okay, that is the difference. We'll do one more reciprocal, and then that'll be our lesson for today. Okay, we're going to do 5/6 times 6/5. 5/6, and again, I already know this is going to be reciprocal because I'm doing 6 times 5 and 5 times 6. I know I'm going to be getting the same answer, which is 30 over 30, which means I have 1. Okay, so these fractions are reciprocal because they equal 1 whole. That is lesson 30 for course 1, least common multiples or LCMs and reciprocals.